Hi, welcome to another position of the week. My name is Aagaard. I'm a grandmaster. I'm one of the trainers and owners of the online academy, killchesstraining.com. If you want to improve your chess, you're very welcome to check us out. So in this position of the week, we have a game from the Portuguese Championship. It's played in round 7, I think. The black player is Andre Sousa. White player is Andre Fidalgo. And Andre Sousa is one of the members of our academy. He came to us somewhere in the last year, and he had not improved his performance in almost 5 years, since the age of 16. He's now 21. He has won the Portuguese Championship before, but this year he really dominated a strong version of it. He had won the tournament one round before the end, and in the end he ended with 1 point above the field. This position here from round 7 was against a lower rated player, but not a success. The game eventually ended in a draw, and Andre's moment was here. In the game, he tried to reorganize the knight, and white created counterplay, and very quickly it was clear that they're playing on the king side as much as on the queen side, which is not in black's interest here. Black's chances are clearly on the queen side, where white is not very strongly represented. I think if I was giving this game this position in a rapid game, I would maybe go for something like this, where it feels like black structurally a little bit better. The white center is a little bit shaky. It's not a good bishop. But on the other hand, the a pawn needs some defending, and you can both-sided if you want this and that. Maybe black's a little better. But it turns out that black had a big opportunity here. And as always, I invite you to stop the recording, think for a few minutes yourself, even if you're not able to actually find the best moves necessarily. Then just having seen the options and having a feeling of how the position works in your own mind will really help your improvement in chess. Now, the solution to this problem here, the option that Andre missed, was to take on d4, which is maybe not so shattering. White cannot take with the bishop, because this pawn would be hanging, so must take back with the pawn. And here comes the surprising move. Black takes on e5. Now that might look normal enough, but the problem is that now we're opening the f line, and there's a lot of counterplay for white here, a lot of chances, and black would have to put the pieces on strange squares. However, he has an intermediate move, and one of the things I teach, which it's a great advice, and I wish I would be following it all the time myself, because then I definitely would have won one of my recent games, is that you should always try seriously to have at least 2 options on every move. Even the moves that seems to be automatic, like in this case here, it's very easy to think of knight d7 as an automatic move, especially when looking at the position in advance. However, there is another option, and that other option is to take on c4. So white is not really interested in a lot of exchanges. So let's see, for example, here, black would end up in a winning endgame. But also any other thing that sort of includes going into an endgame would be favoring black. So white would take on b7, most likely. Black would take back. Now c4 wouldn't be hanging. We should say that here, black's going to win back the piece, and he's going to win the bishop, which will leave white with weak pawns everywhere. And this bishop's very strong, both as a defender and an attacker. And it's sort of important to notice that this is a total disaster. So instead, white would probably take here. And now knight d5 is very attractive, but even nicer is knight e4. It's threatening moves like queen d5. It's controlling the d6 square. You could easily see that white would maybe get the knight out of the way, and then after knight c3, white cannot take it. The a3 pawn would be doomed. Black simply has a perfect positional setup. Yeah, the game will win in the long run, positionally, slowly, strategically, and in the short run, white has to find a move, which is not so easy. The game would continue, and there would be no sense at all in thinking about whether or not we are able to find a forced win after knight d5, and let's say white plays knight c4 maybe. When we're thinking this position, we can just see here we have achieved a lot. Here we have a structure that is fluid. Here we have a structure where white has a bad bishop, black has a good bishop, and black controls important d5 square. So let's say, for example, knight c4, then black should come down and find a plan. And there are probably many options. I think the only thing we have to avoid is to take here 2 times. We can maybe play knight e3 in this position, but don't do it like this. This would be a very bad tactic. But I think here it does indeed work as a possibility. It's still complicated, but it seems like it's totally winning. The key point is here we don't take on c6, we take on f1 first, and then we win the pawn afterwards. So I hope you enjoyed this little strategic example. This was a rather difficult one. Sometimes our position of the week are a bit challenging, and sometimes they'll be a bit less challenging, which will be next time probably. See you then. Bye-bye.